I mean, really anything that they're really into where they're spending their time with their hands and they're thinking about the subject and they're creating something is what I consider a project. It's their ideas, really. And it's me working with that to say, how can I incorporate other things?
We've mentioned project-based learning a lot. We probably ought to have a little discussion about what that is.
For us, a project can kind of be anything that is outside like a paper worksheet type learning. So it could be a writing project. It could just be a building out of recycling project. It can be an art project. And it's not always my idea either. It might have been my ideas. Not even then. I was going to say maybe at the beginning more, but I have a few that have very, very strong opinions on what they should do. But it's their ideas really. And it's me working with that to say, how can I incorporate language arts, or how can I incorporate other things like science, or even honestly fine motor skills sometimes get incorporated into these things. It could be a science book that they're writing and illustrating. So it's more than just, an essay. It's a full, let's think about this topic. Let's think about illustrations. Let's think about opening hooks and things like that. Or it could be, let's build a Lego guillotine and see if we can make it work.
Yeah.
And yes, you can.
Yes.
So it can just be a lot of, really anything that they're really into where they're spending their time with their hands and they're thinking about the subject and they're creating something is what I consider a project.
I've always called them show what you know projects. And I have kind of spoken about them as kid-friendly research projects. So that, when you think about a research project, you do think about, well, I have to go research and I have to write an essay. Well, no, you don't have to do that. You can still immerse yourself. So the projects a lot of times are taking an extension of what we've been learning in the unit study. And it's saying, okay, now you go discover some more about this and create something to show that you have discovered more about it. And I love, you just used the word you and we. So I got the feeling that maybe sometimes you're sending the kiddos to do some of these projects on their own, and sometimes you're actually working with them. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Why?
100%. I would say the ones that really, when they're weaker, and I'm kind of using a project to help the weakness. For instance, I have a kid that has dyslexia and some other learning differences. So research with words, anything with words, and writing is much harder for him. And so I will help him go, or I helped him go through those steps that you would do, and we would just take things one at a time. Or a kid that isn't quite at that research stage, but wants to be part of the project. So I helped them do that. And then while they did that, my other son, who's very language arts gifted, he just went off and did that.
Yeah.
On the flip side, we illustrated that same idea, that same project, and he was not as comfortable creating his own papers or his own art. And the other two were totally on it. So we would do things together, and I would just keep asking questions, which I think that's a big thing. You don't have to know the answers, but you can ask the questions, and they might not know, or they might say, I don't want to do that. I'll go this direction. That's fine. But it's the constant conversation with them, where you're there for support and to bounce ideas off, and yes, to ask the questions or even encourage a direction and say, well, what if you thought about this? And that, I've learned, really helps them own it still, but move forward with the project.
Homeschool Insights is sponsored by CTC Math. If you're looking for a great online math program, visit ctcmath.com and try it for free. For more great homeschool inspiration and resources, listen to the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.